For the network of resistance shown in the figure, the equivalent resistance of the network between A and B is 18 ohm. The value of the unknown resistance R is equal to. So over here we have to find out the unknown resistance R. Before we proceed to that part, let us first see which of the resistance are in series and which resistance are in parallel. From the diagram you can clearly see that this 10 ohm and 10 ohm are in parallel. So the equivalent resistance will be equal to 5 ohms, and it is in series with the 10 ohm resistance, and at the bottom it is connected somewhat like this, okay, and this is the 10 ohm resistance over here, okay. The rest of the circuit is as it is, okay. I am not taking the rest of the circuit in picture now, okay. Now as we can clearly see from the diagram, there is a 10 ohm resistance at this point. These two are in series, these two resistance are in series, so their equivalent will be equal to 15, and it is in parallel with 10, okay, it is in parallel with 10. So 1 by 15 plus 1 by 10 will be equal to 1 by 15 plus 1 by 10 will give me the answer as over here 5 by it will give me the answer as 5 by 30, which will be equal to 1 by 6. So the equivalent over here of all these three, okay, this two resistance and this resistance over here will be equal to 1 by 6. So I will remove those resistance and substitute it by a single 6 ohm resistance. So the circuit will now look somewhat like this. This is R ohm resistance. At the bottom there is 10 ohm resistance. There is 6 ohm resistance at the bottom, and there is a 10 ohm resistance at the on the left hand side. This is B, this is over here equal to A, okay. So I can clearly see from this diagram, this 10 ohm and 6 ohm resistance are in series, and it is in, so it will be equal to 16 ohms, and it is in parallel with R. So the equivalent resistance, now I will directly substitute the value. It will be equal to 16 into R divided by 16 plus R, okay. This is the equivalent resistance, okay. 16 into R divided by 16 plus R. Now this entire system is in parallel, is in series with 10 ohm resistance. So 16 R divided by 16 plus R plus 10 ohm resistance gives me an equivalent resistance is 18 ohms over here. So equivalent over here is 18 ohms. So 16 R divided by 16 plus R is equal to 8. So 16 R is equal to 16 into 8 over here, which will be equal to, which will be over here equal to 16 plus 8 over here, which will be equal to 128 plus 8R, okay. So plus 8R, okay, or we can simplify this value, okay. So 8R will be equal to 128, or R over here will be equal to 128 divided by 8, which will be equal to 16, okay. So the unknown resistance over here is equal to 16 ohms, which is equal to option number C.